Good afternoon, Salmon Creek Husky Pack members. Heath Engelbeck here coming to you. I wanted to share some information in the last month that I learned from a TED Talk video from Susan David. I'll put a link down in the bottom here somewhere of the YouTube channel. And the idea of that discomfort is the price of admission to a meaningful life. You know, our kids struggle. You know, when you learn, there's a struggle. If things come to you easily, you really didn't learn or grow that much. So don't take the struggle away from your kid. Embrace that struggle. Ask questions. You know, how was that? How did that make you feel when you struggled and you got it in the end? And it helps to support that growth mindset and the intrinsic motivation in our kids, because having to put some work into something and an effort makes kids really feel good about what the learning was. And the learning doesn't have to just be school, it can be life. A lot of times kids are sent to me and I'm working with them on a choice that they made to help them learn from it. And you may hear me call you and say, well, let's keep a small issue small, or a 6-year-old issue, a 6-year-old issue, or an elementary issue, an elementary issue. And that's because I think that people change in one of three ways. They're either inspired, they learn something new, or pain and suffering. Now, don't cringe when you hear the pain and suffering. It's not actual pain and suffering, but when you say pain and suffering, we use natural consequences. And so, like, oh, you had an issue at recess? Well, let's talk about it during recess. So you missed some recess time as we talk about it. Sometimes I do take away some recesses as a consequence, because you really like recess and we need to talk some more. Oftentimes, it's not the consequence of you missing recess. It's that I also want to touch bases with you to see, you know, later on after the conversation, did you truly get the learning that I was hoping that I would help you with as a kid? And that's really helpful with kids, you know, and that provides time for me to connect with the kids to make sure that they've learned from their choices. I also believe that making consequences as small as they're really needed to get the change. So if the conversation and something really minimal, really small helps the kid learn, and it wasn't a really big issue, then let's keep the consequences small and make that, you know, solve that problem on that lowest level. If I can talk to them and they don't have that issue ever again, well, clearly that conversation worked for that kiddo around that one issue. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. And I will make kids own their actions. That's that struggle. I want them to feel that discomfort, because they do learn from it. And they have to learn how to deal with struggle and discomfort in life. One thing that's for sure in all of our lives, there's going to be stress, there's going to be discomfort. But we have to teach our kids how to manage stress and discomfort, because they will learn from that, and teach them how to be resilient, because then if they're able to overcome the stress and the discomfort, they'll be resilient. And so when they grow up and they're adults, they'll be greatly successful, and they'll know how to manage stressful situations and when they're uncomfortable, and they'll be successful. So, and it's really a big life issue, you know, and there are ways at school how we manage that in the classroom, and we talk about goal setting, and we talk to kids about what they learned. But I focus a lot of times on that social emotional piece. If something is transpired and a kiddo has been sent to me and I'm working with them, I'm really making it a bigger life lesson that they're learning, and I'm really trying to develop them as reflectors, so they can reflect on their own learning and their own actions and grow, and to deal with the struggle. And if any of you guys have any questions for me about the idea of discomfort and struggle, I'm certain every single one of you has had discomfort and struggle, and it can be really hard for some people because they don't want their kids to feel, you know, discomfort and struggle. But there are ways to do it in a way that doesn't negatively impact our children, and because we have to equip them for life, and because they're going to be stressed and they're going to be uncomfortable, and we have to equip them so that they can navigate in ever-changing society and ever-changing, you look at technology, it's ever-changing, and how do we deal with that and learn from our mistakes. So feel free to check out that TEDx video from Susan David. It's in the bottom of the YouTube channel. And feel free to stop by and ask me any questions that you have about this month's video blog. Talk to you later. Bye.